I know their game last year had great attendance and great energy, so I'm expecting the same tonight. But for myself, like, you don't take these opportunities for granted. Like, it's always fun to go to a new arena and a new place and enjoy it, and I expect the same here tonight.
It was supposed to be the perfect night. A historic arena, a sold-out crowd, and Caitlin Clark walking in with a chip on her shoulder and fire in her eye. The same Connecticut Sun team that tried to humble her weeks ago was back on the schedule, and this time, the stakes felt personal. But no one, not even the loudest Fever fan in the building, could have predicted what was about to happen.
Like, if you're a basketball fan, you grow up a fan, like, you love the Celtics. Well, maybe I guess you could hate them, but I think for myself, like, the Celtics is one of the premier organizations of the NBA. Like, you always grow up knowing what the Celtics are about, and obviously having won a championship 2 years ago now, it's kind of cool to just be in this building and kind of, surround yourself with the greatness that is played in this arena over the course of however many years. So I think it's a great opportunity for people in this city or fans around the area to come and support a W team here.
Because on that hardwood floor in Boston, Clark didn't just show up, she made history. 3 WNBA records shattered in a single night, a comeback that flipped the script, and a crowd of nearly 20,000 people losing their minds as one player outscored an entire team in the final 5 minutes. But just when the moment reached a peak, everything changed. A single play, a sharp movement, and suddenly the face of the league was clutching her leg in pain.
The announcers here are saying, of course, Marina Mabrey is going to get ejected because that was unwarranted. She literally came out of nowhere and chucked Caitlin Clark. There should be a flagrant one, of course, on Jacy Sheldon because she swiped her and hit her in the eyeball. Whether it is intentional or not, you can still have a flagrant a flagrant foul called on you, whether you are trying to intentionally hurt somebody or not. But this is what they called, you guys. This is what they called. Caitlin Clark, Marina Mabrey, Tina Charles were assessed with technical fouls on Tuesday. Caitlin, Marina, and Tina Charles. Technical fouls. That's it. Technical fouls. That's it. And Jacy Sheldon was assessed with a flagrant 1 foul, and no players were ejected.
Triumph turned into silence. History collided with heartbreak. And now, everyone's asking the same question. Will she be ready for the biggest weekend of the year? Or was this the night everything shifted? The TD Garden isn't just another basketball arena. It's a cathedral of champions. The banners hanging from the rafters tell stories of greatness, of legends who etched their names into the game's history. On this night, that same floor where Larry Bird once dazzled and Paul Pierce lifted trophies became the battleground for a new kind of showdown. But it wasn't the Celtics taking the spotlight. It was Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever marching into enemy territory with unfinished business. The opponent, the Connecticut Sun, the same squad that delivered one of the most controversial games of the season just weeks earlier, a game where elbows flew, eyes were poked, and the referees lost control.
Third quarter we go. They're trailing by 10. Keep an eye on her and Jacy Sheldon. Clark trying to back her down.
Clark is okay.
Sheldon fouls Clark, hitting her in the face. Clark is upset about that. Then everybody's upset about that. Marina Mabrey comes in. She decks Clark, tempers flaring on both sides.
That night, Clark had been targeted physically, emotionally, strategically, and the scars from that battle hadn't faded. Everyone in the building could feel it. This wasn't just another regular season matchup. This was war. Clark knew the stakes. She didn't just come to Boston to play. She came to send a message. This was about redemption, about reclaiming control, about showing the league that she wasn't going to be pushed around, not by defenders, not by officials, not by anyone. And as she laced up in that historic arena, every glance, every breath, every bounce of the ball told the same story. This game was personal.
Rear for Allie. Clark trying to turn the corner. Oh, goes behind her back to find Howard.
Really good interior passing and patience by
The moment the Fever stepped onto the court, something fell off in the best possible way. This was Boston. This was TD Garden. Yet somehow, it didn't feel like an away game. The usual Celtics green had been drowned out by a wave of red, navy, and electric excitement. Over 19,000 fans packed the arena, but they weren't just there for a WNBA game. They were there for Caitlin Clark. The chant started early. "Let's go Fever," echoing through the stands like thunder. Every time Clark touched the ball, the crowd erupted. Every bucket, every assist, every defensive stop, they reacted like they were watching a finals game. You could see it on the faces of the Connecticut players. Confusion, disbelief. This wasn't their home anymore.
Leah Boston day yesterday.
It's okay. You can tell me when I'm falling.
That's fine. Here comes Clark. Working against Sheldon. Slices in.
Her, but deceptively, she is so quick and fast getting to the rim. Right here, gets up the floor with some force here. Jacy Sheldon doesn't even have the chance to react.
The Fever fans had taken over, and the energy was electric. It wasn't just a crowd, it was a movement. A sea of fans who traveled, who cheered like they were courtside in Indiana, who turned a legendary NBA venue into a fever dream for the home team. And in the middle of it all was Clark, feeding off that energy like fuel. This was more than support. It was an army behind her, and the Sun felt it before the ball even tipped.
A back cut by Lacan.
On the rookie out of France. And it didn't take long for Indiana to strike back.
That is after a
June 17th wasn't just another game, it was a warning shot. When the Fever last faced the Connecticut Sun, it turned ugly fast. Jacy Sheldon's eye poke, Marina Mabrey's blindside body check, the refs standing by while chaos unfolded. It wasn't tough basketball, it was reckless and everyone knew it. Clark didn't complain, she didn't retaliate, but she remembered every cheap shot, every bruise, every time she got up off the floor while the whistle stayed silent. So when the rematch came around, it wasn't about stat, it was about respect. This game had a pulse from the jump. You could feel it in the air, crackling with unfinished business. Clark wasn't just playing to win, she was reclaiming the narrative. And this time, she wasn't alone. Sophie Cunningham made sure of that. From the opening tip, she shadowed Clark like a bodyguard, barking back at defenders, standing up to every bump. The message was clear. You mess with Clark, you mess with all of us. The Fever weren't going to let their star get bullied again. And for the first time in a long time, it felt like the whole team was fighting with one heart. This wasn't just basketball anymore. It was personal payback, delivered possession by possession. From the first few possessions, it was obvious. This wasn't the same Indiana Fever team that got pushed around in June. This squad looked sharper, faster, more connected. The ball wasn't sticking. The offense wasn't stagnant. Caitlin Clark wasn't isolated and overwhelmed. She was orchestrating, directing traffic, controlling tempo, and the Fever were finally playing like a team with a purpose. The difference? Trust. Clark had it, and she gave it. She wasn't forcing shots or carrying the burden alone. Her teammates moved with intention. Screens were tighter, cuts were crisper. The ball zipped around the perimeter and found the open player. Indiana wasn't just reacting to the Suns' aggression anymore. They were dictating the pace. You could see it in the body language. No panic, no frustration, just focused execution. Clark drove and dished. Kelsey Mitchell spotted up. Natasha Howard posted deep. Every player stepped into their role with confidence, and it changed everything. What had been chaos in June had become cohesion in July. This was the version of the Fever fans had been waiting for. Fast, unselfish, relentless. The kind of basketball that's hard to guard and even harder to stop once it starts clicking.
Another opportunity on the O glass.
Cunningham already has 1-3, make it 2.
When all else fails, Kelsey Mitchell coming down, finds her teammate Sophie Cunningham. No passes, no problem.
Look at the box score, and you think Caitlin Clark had an off night. Just 4 of 14 from the field. One made three-pointer out of 7 attempts. On paper, it reads like a struggle. But anyone who watched that game knows better. Those numbers were a lie. Because while the shots weren't falling, Clark was controlling every second of the game. The Sun came in with a plan. Full court pressure, trap the pick and roll, double here at the perimeter, and dare someone else to beat them. They threw everything they had at Clark, and she didn't flinch. Instead of forcing the issue, she adapted. She slowed the game down when needed, sped it up when it caught the defense off guard, and made the right read with surgical precision. Clark didn't need 30 points to dominate. She dissected the defense with her passing, creating open looks where none existed. She ran the offense with poise, finding gap, exploiting mismatches, and pulling defenders just far enough out of position to let her teammates shine. This wasn't about padding stats. It was about playing chess while the Sun were stuck in checker. That's what separates Clark from most rookies, and honestly, from most stars. She doesn't just score, she dictates, she elevates, and when her shot isn't falling, she still finds a way to make winning plays.
Boston somehow found Howard. That was a blaze of a pass.
Aaliyah Boston had her eye on Natasha Howard before she got the ball. You knew it.
The Sun tried to stop Caitlin Clark, but in doing so, they unleashed everyone else. With defenders glued to Clark like shadows, it created just enough daylight for Kelsey Mitchell to explode. And when Mitchell catches fire, there's no stopping her. She dropped 20 points with ease, slicing through defenders, pulling up in transition, and making Connecticut pay every time they sagged off or hesitated. She didn't just feed off the moment, she owned it. Mitchell's hot hand forced the Sun into a dilemma. Keep doubling Clark and let Kelsey cook, or ease up and give Caitlin room to breathe. Either way, it was a losing gamble. And while Mitchell torched the perimeter, Natasha Howard went to work down low. She racked up 18 points and 13 rebounds, bullying her way through the paint and dominating second chance opportunity. The Sun couldn't box her out, couldn't slow her down. Howard's presence gave the Fever something they desperately needed: control of the interior. It was the perfect balance. Clark at the helm, Mitchell sniping from the wing, and Howard anchoring the post. With all three firing at once, the Suns' defense cracked wide open. They couldn't rotate fast enough. They couldn't recover. And for the first time in weeks, Indiana looked dangerous again. This wasn't just a Caitlin Clark show anymore. It was a full team performance, and every piece of the puzzle was falling perfectly into place.
Sheldon is going to keep the pressure on Clark. You see Tina Charles with the responsibility of guarding Aaliyah Boston. High hedge on the ball screen on Clark.
Inside perfectly.
One thing you know about Tina Charles, she has every shot in her arsenal.
Now Sheldon, the height disadvantage against Howard.
Yeah, good recognition.
While the crowd roared for every pass, every bucket, every highlight, something bigger was unfolding in the background. No banners dropped, no dramatic announcer voice pointed it out, but Caitlin Clark was quietly rewriting the WNBA record book in real time. First, she became the fastest player in league history to reach 450 career assists, doing it in just 53 games. That shattered the previous record by a full 9 games. In a league where every possession counts, that kind of efficiency isn't just impressive, it's unprecedented. And it happened so subtly that most fans didn't even realize what they were watching. Then came the second milestone. Clark hit her 150th career three-pointer, also in record time. Again, no big celebration, no pause in play, just another deep shot falling through the net, except this one made history. It proved she wasn't just a facilitator. She was a certified long-range threat who adapted to the pro level faster than anyone predicted. But the third record, that one was the most telling of all. Clark extended her streak of 5 or more assists to 40 consecutive games, the longest in WNBA history. That's 40 straight matchup of elite playmaking, 40 games where she made her teammates better, 40 nights of consistency that most veterans can't sustain. While the spotlight focused on the scoreboard, Clark was building a legacy beneath it. One pass, one three, one assist at a time. It was the kind of history that doesn't scream for attention, it demands respect.
Yeah, you were announced today to obviously be in the three-point contest. Just what went into that decision? What does it mean to do it for the first time in front of the fans in Indiana?
Yeah, I mean, not much went into it other than yes, I guess. Obviously, it's exciting. I've never participated in a three-point competition before, never practiced before, so just go out there and have fun. I think the lineup of people competing is tremendous. So more than anything, it's just going to be really great for our league and for women's basketball as a whole, just to, have a lot of fun and experience that. So, yeah, I'm just excited. I think Friday, the skills competition, and that will be a really exciting time, and it will lead right into Saturday of a really great game as well.
With 5 minutes left on the clock, the game was still up for grabs. The Fever had the momentum, but the Sun were lurking, waiting for a mistake, a lapse, a window to steal the win. And that's when Caitlin Clark did what only the greats do. She locked in, zoned out the noise, and took over. What happened next didn't feel real. Clark, who had struggled from the field all night, suddenly became untouchable. She pushed the ball with urgency, dissected the defense like a surgeon, and outscored the entire Connecticut Sun team by herself in the final 5 minutes. One player, one run, one unforgettable moment. She didn't just score, she elevated the energy in the building to a fever pitch. Step back, no-look passes, cross-court dime. Every possession was a statement. You could see it in her eyes. There was no doubt, no hesitation, only control. The Sun threw double team. They crowded her space. They tried everything, and nothing worked. This wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about dominance. It was about reminding everyone exactly who Caitlin Clark is, a generational talent with a killer instinct. She had been patient all game, picking her spot, playing the role of the floor general. But when it mattered most, she transformed into the closer. Those final 5 minutes, that was her legacy on full display.
Offensive rebound by Nelson Adota, and this time she was stuffed by Howard. Hull spots up, and nails it.
It should have ended with confetti, with Clark at center court, arms raised, soaking in the roar of a victory that was both historic and personal. But instead, in the final minute, right after delivering a perfect assist to Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark went. It was subtle at first. A quick grab to her leg, a grimace she tried to shake off, but then she limped, and the crowd, once deafening, fell into stunned silence. She made her way to the bench, head down, expression tight, no celebration, no fist pump, just the unmistakable look of someone in pain. And not just physical pain, the emotional kind that comes when your body betrays you after giving everything. Clark had re-aggravated her right groin, an injury that had been nagging her throughout the season. It wasn't a collision, it wasn't contact, it was a routine play, a simple movement, and then something gave. You could see it in her eyes as she sat with trainer. This wasn't just a tweak, this was serious. Groin injuries are deceptive, they linger, they flare up without warning, and for an athlete who relies on burst, explosiveness, and sharp directional cut, it's the kind of injury that can derail momentum in an instant. This wasn't just a bruise to shake off, it was a flashing red light right before All-Star Weekend. What was supposed to be the most triumphant night of her season had suddenly shifted into uncertainty. The celebration was cut short. The energy shifted. And as Clark sat on the bench, wiping tears, everyone watching felt it. This moment was no longer just about what she accomplished, but what it might cost her.
Brutal. That's all you can say, and the look on Caitlin Clark's face said it all. After she clearly tweaked her groin in the Fever win over the Connecticut Sun in what has been an injury-riddled season for Clark, and whether it was pain or frustration or a combination of both, you could see it weighing on her.
Just days away from one of the most anticipated events in WNBA history, Caitlin Clark was supposed to be the face of All-Star Weekend, the headliner, the hometown hero returning to Indiana to light up the court in the three-point contest and lead as a team captain. Tickets were sold, promotions were printed, the league had built the moment around her, but now everything was in question. Her injury, once a quiet concern, had become the center of conversation. Cameras captured her icing her leg, fighting back visible frustration. Coach Stephanie White kept her comments brief, just a vague mention of Clark feeling something in her groin. No specific, no timeline, just uncertainty. And that's the problem. Groin injuries don't follow a schedule. Dr. Jesse Moore, a regenerative medicine expert, explained that groin strains are notoriously slow to heal. Even after rest, they can resurface with the wrong step, the wrong cut, the wrong burst of speed. Extended recovery is often required, and pushing too soon risks making it worse. The league knows this, the fans know this, and most importantly, Clark knows this. The timing couldn't be worse. After a game where she made history and reminded the world why she's the future of the WNBA, she now faces the possibility of missing the weekend that was meant to celebrate her rise. And the impact goes far beyond one player. Her absence would leave a hole in the event, in the narrative, in the energy fans were counting on. As she sat on the bench that night, tears in her eyes, ice wrapped around her leg, one thing was clear. The highs and lows of greatness had never been more visible. She had given everything to get the win, to set records, to lead her team. But now, with the spotlight waiting in Indianapolis, the question looms, will she be there to take it?
Right here, she explodes, makes the backdoor pass, and immediately grabs the inside of that right leg. Yeah,
Caitlin Clark's night was a masterclass in what it means to be a generational talent. She shattered records without even chasing them. She took control of a revenge game without losing her composure. She silenced doubters with her passing, her pace, and her poise. And just when the narrative was peaking, just when it felt like nothing could stop her, a single play reminded us of the brutal truth behind all greatness. It always comes at a cost. 3 WNBA records in one night, a third straight Fever victory, a performance that turned an away game into a coronation. But none of it came without sacrifice. Clark played through pain. She carried the weight of expectations. And in the final minute, her body reminded her and all of us that even superheroes have limits. Now, as fans, we sit in that uncertain space between celebration and concern. We applaud the brilliant, but we hold our breath for the aftermath. All-Star Weekend is around the corner, and the league needs her. The fans need her. Women's basketball needs her. But more than anything, she needs time to heal. So if you're riding with Caitlin, if you felt every assist, every moment, every record-breaking second, then drop a comment below for Caitlin and let her know the Fever family's got her back. Like the video, subscribe for more stories like this, and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment from the W. Because history isn't just written in banners and stats, it's written in nights like this.